Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce our team first. Our team's name is SpongeBob the Five, which composes by 5 members. Here is our topic: reducing childhood obesity. The problem of obesity in children is not only a matter of appearance, but also physical and psychological. Obesity in children makes them more likely to have high blood pressure, which easily cause heart disease, breathing problems, and growth problems. And not to mention that obese children may be discriminated against by others, which damage their mental well-being. All these problems can build up until they flare up in adulthood. That's why we need to find a corresponding solution in this problem immediately. The following slides will further illustrate the problem with the focus of analyzing this issue and finding out the solution.
Hello, I'm Frank. I'm going to explain stage 1 for you. Stage 1 is to calculate the obesity model. I separate this part into 3 steps. The first step is to define the problem. The childhood obesity is not a pressing issue. In 2019, an estimated 38.2 million children worldwide were overweight or obese, and figure that is on the rise in low and mid-income countries, especially in urban areas. Since 2000, the number of African children who are overweight has increased to 24%. It's at least 1 in 5. In Asia, the number of children and teenagers who were overweight or obese reached 340 million in 2016. You may not understand this, but the population of Europeans in 2022 will only be 750 million. Obesity causes lots of problems than we can imagine. Physical health and mental health are 2 good examples of how obesity brings harm to children. Obesity can lead to diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure. Obesity can also lead to mental problems such as anxiety and depression. If this problem can be solved, then it can bring us lots of benefits such as improving academic performance, improving quality of life, reducing the economic burden, improving overall health, and improving self-confidence. Step 2 is to sketch the 2 obesity models. Model 1, healthy eating habits. No any exercise, just control the diet and reduce your intake of high calorie and junk food. Model 2, exercise, no control any diet, encourage participation in physical activity, strengthen exercise and exercise. Step 3, show how this model works. This model is mainly implemented from 3 perspectives: customers, food manufacturers, and governments. Customers can learn and recognize the importance of childhood obesity for Model 1 and to choose a more active lifestyle for Model 2. Food retailer can use healthier ingredients to produce food for Model 1. Government can create strict rules and regulations for Model 1 and to advertising and host physical events to stimulate the desire for exercise. Thank you.
Now the next stage is to examine the model. First, the Model 1 and the Model 2 have some similarities and differences between 2 models. Let's talk about the similarity first. Both of those 2 models have the same aim, is to reduce the childhood obesity, and these 2 models need to change the lifestyle. And for the differences, for the customer, they require parents' supervision to change diets and require children self-discipline. And for the government, they need to take different actions. And secondly, I found out there was a uniqueness of these 2 models. The characteristic of the Model 1 is that it mainly solves the generation of childhood obesity fundamentally. And the obesity reduction effects of this model will be more significant. And second model focuses on the more treatment of the childhood obesity to ensure that its negative impact can be controlled, improve the obesity through the exercise. And then finally, I found out the difficulties faced by the two models. For the model one, it needs to be considering for the following points. Designing low calorie or health or nutritious food are difficult for children to accept. And convincing food manufacturers to improve their food ingredients is difficult. And for the model two, it needs to be considering for the following points. Whether the child can consciously or perseverately in physical exercise and sports is difficult. And parents and children have little knowledge about the childhood obesity, and their understanding is not comprehensive enough to understand the potential harm caused by the obesity. Whether it's possible to develop tools to help people with healthy food intake and physical activity, and to develop food-focused app and games is unknown, and the cost of design and development is difficult to access and obtain at this stage.
Now it is third stage of integrative thinking framework. This stage is basically split into the three pathways: the hidden game, the double down, and the decomposition. First, the hidden gem, we need to explore the basic core of both model, which is eating more healthy food for model A and getting exercise in model B. Then in double down step, we need to keep the core part of each model separately and combine each of them with the valuable parts of other models. Therefore, we can expansion of the model A. The supermarket will provide the video course on childhood obesity and healthy eating, while the expansion of the model B is improve customer understanding of the course and the consequence of the childhood obesity and encourage them to exercise. Combining these two expanded model, a new cause and the effects relationship is created, which is we can significantly reduce the risk of childhood obesity by educating parents about awareness of healthy eating, as parental intervention has been identified as a key factor in changing children's dietary habits, as stated by the International Journal of Behavior, Nutrition, and Physical Activities. In the experiment conducted by researchers in this journal, the effects of parental control of children's sugar and fruit or vegetable intake on their weight were investigated. The study finds that the intervention on fruit and vegetable intake had a little to no effect on children's weight, while the impact of sugar consumption was significant. That suggests that changing children's dietary habits through their family is a feasible strategy for addressing obesity, but parental intervention is essential. The third pathway, the demonstration, it is the place we can broken things in little part. Different industry will act differently on childhood obesity. Government could publish a new policy to limit children's purchase of unhealthy food and invest in research and development of healthy food. For retailers, they may follow the policy. The chance of unhealthy food exposing the to children. And for sports industry, they may develop more equipment which suit with children. That is step 3.
So we're now at step 4. For this stage, we need to articulate each possibilities from 3 different perspectives, which is consumers, retailers, and government. For consumers, the possibilities are encourage children to be more physically active and promote a healthy lifestyle. 2, parents need to help their children stay away from their phones. 3, parents need to prevent children from drinking unhealthy beverages, such as Coke. 4, learn about the dangers of childhood obesity through news and videos. For the government, the possibilities can be publish a new policy to ban children from buying high-calorie food, apply a soft drink tax. Also, for enterprise or individuals which break the law, will be face penalties of up to $10,000. For retailer, they could do stop serving high-calorie foods, developing more refreshing products like coconut water, to advertise more healthy products to customer. And now that's the second step, is to examine under what condition will these possibilities always be success. For key player one, which is consumers, children's willingness to exercise and have healthy diets has to be strong, and parents can do effective supervision. Key player two, which is consumers, which is retailers, they have to provide healthy and tasty food for children and strict prohibit the sale of high-calorie food to children. Key player three, which is government, they have to be strong desire to change and design a childhood obesity curriculum, which everyone could be easily understand. Step three, this step is what we need to conduct tests. First, government solution test. Public Health England has restricted junk food advertising to after 9 o'clock. In France, EPOD project has already restricted children to have unhealthy food and drinks. To customer solution test. This is a professional research team found that the influence of parents on children is significant, with children exposed to fast food at home is less likely to eat vegetables at school. Third, the retailer solution test. Woolworths has removed 395 tons of salt and 118 tons of saturated fat and 300 tons of sugar from its own brand products over the past 5 years. And what's more, we even did an actual survey. We found a sample of 50 parents of obesity children to see how many of them they are willing to accept the knowledge of childhood obesity and to approve it. 40 parents out of 50 has chosen to prevent their children from eating unhealthy food. 41 out of 50 parents has chosen to accept to learn about childhood obesity. 43 out of 50 has chosen to make their children aware with the consequences of being obesity. This data all indicates consumers have strong willingness to change the current situation. And now we are at the solution part. After all the demonstrations so far, we are aware that the best solution for solving childhood obesity is Model A plus Model B, which is healthy diet, meantime, do exercise. Also, there are still two aspects we need to consider: consumer and government. For consumer solution, firstly, children's wait regularly to find issues and do correct actions. Limit children's screen time and encourage them to go out to play sports. Eat more fruits, vegetables, and grains instead of unhealthy food. And finally, make sure they get enough sleep, because lack of sleep may also contribute to obesity. For government, on the other hand, they could firstly raise tax on high-calorie foods or sugar drinks. Next, publish new rules to against children from buying unhealthy food. Finally, make all advertisement for unhealthy foods only show up on TV in the middle of the night. And that's all for stage 4 and solutions.
In this project, we conduct an integrative analysis for solving childhood obesity, evaluate the two aspects, pros and cons, based on the real-life situation. Then we combine and attach new elements to create a new model. We finalize the problem by pointing out the efforts which the government and the consumers could do to save more children from obesity. It's reference list. Thank you for your listening.